Welcome everyone to the another episode. Today we have Rebecca Lyons all the way from Canada. So Rebecca is a sought after strategist, speaker, and a founder on the mission of to make system more human, starting with healthcare. So after a decade leading global growth and transformation, she walked away to solve a problem no one else has. So which is how to help a woman actually feel seen, heard, and prepared in a doctor office. So in the mission, she became her app called HerSay, an app AI-powered companion for medical visits, thus redefine how women advocate for their health. So in this episode, we're going to learn more about Rebecca's journey, what actually inspired her to create the app, also the ups and downs she had to go through in her health journey as well. So we're going to learn everything about that as well as her professional journey, what actually led her to being a speaker, strategist, and also like a founder of a company. So we're going to uncover everything in this episode. So stay tuned, and without further ado, let's welcome to Rebecca to the show. Rebecca, welcome to the show, and how are you doing today?
Thank you very much, Neil. I'm doing great.
Yeah, I'm excited to have the conversation and learning a bit about yourself, your journey, as well as your newest company as well. Like, obviously, you originally from Canada right now in the US as he's talking to us, right?
Yes, that's right. I'm enjoying some wonderful time at the cottage here in the US, but I'm based in Waterloo, Ontario, just outside Toronto.
Yeah. And yeah, it's the best time to travel, I think. Like, it's a summertime and the sun is everywhere, Toronto, even US, UK, everywhere. And it's just like holiday seasons and traveling around the world is just like great things to do and this time of the year. And also, like, since you have started in company of your own, the app you have built, and we have a lot to talk about that as well as your journey as a business owners, your journey about like how you found inspiration to helping other women. So let's start from very beginning about your journey growing up as a child. Ravik, how was your upbringing looks like? Did you always knew you were going to start your own business?
Yes, that's a really great question. And it's funny because I was incredibly shy growing up. I had maybe one friend at a time. Definitely not a public speaker, never thought that I would get into that. And as I grew, I developed more confidence the more people that I connected with. And it wasn't until I got a job working at a technology store and had a really wonderful sales manager who encouraged me to have conversations with strangers, connecting on the grounds of helping, right?
Mm,
Um, he sort of had explained, you don't need to feel like this is an icky sales situation. They're here to purchase a laptop or something like that. And why don't you just help them find the right solution for them? So that's how I got my little start of feeling like I could break the ice. I ended up really getting into music, and I played piano since I was 4 years old. I took up guitar when I was about 12. And I started performing around town around this time that I had this job. And that also really helped with my presence and my confidence and feeling like I could create something and share it with the world. Um, Through my post-secondary education, I studied psychology and human resource management at University of Waterloo. Um, Came across a variety of wonderful people, and eventually ended up getting recruited into the logistics industry, of all things. So working in trucking was not something I had thought would be my thing, but that's sort of where I ended up and started in inside sales, but quickly became the manager. I developed a customer onboarding program that we rolled out across North America to support bringing on new business, and it was quite successful. And there, I think I found having the ability to really rally people behind a cause was a strength of mine. Looking at overall how the pieces in the organization fit together to support a client and to make sure that internally everybody was on the same page. Those are things I enjoyed and excelled at. Um, then we moved. Actually, my husband got a job in the Cayman Islands,
mm,
so we moved to the Caribbean for a period of time. really enjoyed, of course, the weather there, made a lot of wonderful friends, had that contract for a year and came back where I became the customer success manager at a technology company. It was a robotics company. From there, again, the skill set sort of came to be where being able to rally the troops was my forte. So I ended up as managing the global technical support team, field support, internal support. I was dispatching people across, the world. We had a lot of customers in Singapore and Australia. Um, I planned a trade show to Amsterdam. I did a lot of wonderful things working with our team in South America and just truly enjoyed that really fast paced startup life, wearing a lot of hats and trying to get to that North Star of helping the organization succeed. Um, so I did that for a while, and then the logistics company called me back. They said, "We didn't know you were back in Canada. Can you please, please, please come back and work for us?" So
Right.
I obliged. I obliged, went back and did another program rollout. We were having some churn issues with the multi-million-dollar client relationship. So staffed a team across North America to support that and also did a major digital transformation initiative for them. So the organization was still operating on a DOS system, which, if you can imagine, black screen, green print, what we had in the 80s,
Yeah.
um, moving them into 21st century technology was quite a big undertaking, but we migrated their main platform and I ended up building out their CRM, their sales and marketing system that we also implemented across the board. Later went through a merger, did it with the now parent company and all of this fun stuff. Um, and then I got pregnant with my daughter. And when I started my leave, I really thought I needed to make a difference in the world. Um, Through this process, postpartum, I was undergoing a change in my care provider. My old doctor, she retired.
Mm.
I had a nurse practitioner actually clinic that I had been working with. And I was doing some research and I had this feeling I had been experiencing symptoms for many years and had addressed them with my previous provider and hadn't really gotten anywhere. And I said, you know, I think I might have endometriosis.
Right.
And the nurse practitioner said, let's test that theory. I don't see why you wouldn't based on your symptoms. So it was really validating to go through that experience of being heard and feeling like, wow, this person gets me. So she ordered a number of tests and whatever diagnostic work needed to be done to potentially rule that in or out. And it turned out that unfortunately, I had stage 4 endometriosis, which is to the highest degree where things have progressed. And
Yeah.
um, it's unfortunate there is no cure at this time for
And
endometriosis,
how
but
long
there are
ago
treatment options.
when do
This
you
is
got diagnosed?
very recent. Yeah,
Okay.
very recent, within the past 4 months.
Oh wow.
Um, yes. So through this journey, um, I felt that more of us need to experience that sense of empowerment in their care journey.
Yeah.
I think we don't always know that we're allowed to ask for more. We have rights as patients and as people, we're allowed to ask for a referral to a specialist. We're allowed to ask for the variety of treatment options available. And we're allowed to insist that something is going on with us. And we deserve to have somebody look into us that and take us seriously. So that's where HerSay came to be. And it really was born of this um, notion that every person, especially every woman, are underserved as a community when it comes to health. Every woman deserves to have better care.
Mm.
So, what we're building is an app to support women with having conversations with their practitioners and feeling empowered throughout that process. We really want to make it a 360, having the patient communicate in a way that the practitioner can understand what's going on, and then also make sure that these women are getting the diagnosis treatment that they deserve to have. So that's where we're at, and it's very exciting. We're just about to launch the beta. We're recruiting people for our wait list, and we'll be doing an official and full go live at the beginning of September this year.
Yeah, congratulations.
Thank you.
And how are you feeling with your health wise since you've been juggling through your health as
Yeah,
well as the business?
that's a great question. I think it's it's been empowering to finally have an answer. You know, it's been such a long time of not really knowing what's going on. Um, but it does get discouraging knowing that there's no cure. It's a lifelong challenge that I will continue to deal with. It has other implications, such as impacting fertility and other things. So um, sometimes there are hard days, and coming to that realization of there's only, you can only do what's within your own control.
Yeah.
We do have wonderful options available to us these days. Lots of research is being done, um, though more, of course, could always be. Um, yeah, so I would say it's really lit the spark to keep me going and help other women find their solution.
Yeah. And what kind of symptoms do you get with the issues you
Hmm.
have?
Yeah, so when dealing with endometriosis, people have a variety of symptoms, and the severity of the disease isn't always reflective in what stage you're at. And what I
Hmm.
mean by that is you could have stage one endometriosis and very severe symptoms that are debilitating. Conversely, you could have stage four endometriosis and have no symptoms, no feeling of what's going on. Um, I fall somewhere in the middle of that. I certainly have symptoms. There's, abnormal bleeding that happens. There's pain, recurring pain through sort of that menstrual process. Um, it's an inflammatory disease, so I do manage that through an anti-inflammatory diet, which is just luckily naturally how I tend to eat. Um, but with my experience may or may not resonate with others who are undergoing the same because there's such a vast difference in how we experience this disease.
Yeah. When you're talking about inflammatory disease, it's like IBS or like IBD.
Yeah, so that's a great question. So um, endometriosis is actually often misdiagnosed as IBD or IBS.
Okay.
Um, Certainly, there can be elements of that happening, especially because you've got that inflammation in the pelvic area.
Yeah.
But yeah, with that type of diagnosis, it can make it difficult to receive your endometriosis diagnosis because symptoms are presenting as such, right?
Hmm.
So certainly those are symptoms that people can experience, and something that I have gone through as well on a regular basis.
Okay. Because I have myself IBD, so I got inflammatory bowel disease,
Oh
which is
yeah,
ulcerative colitis. So I have like
yes,
last 6 years. So when you're talking about that, like you resonate with me, and I know how it feels like, and it's tough to deal with, isn't it?
absolutely. Yes,
Yeah.
and the symptoms certainly can be very similar between those two. My cousin actually has Crohn's disease,
Mm.
which is sort of advanced in what you're experiencing. Um, and it's very challenging because it can be very debilitating, very exhausting, and dealing with those symptoms on a regular basis until you get that answer can be very difficult. I'm sure you can
Yeah,
imagine, right? Yeah, yeah. So you
totally.
absolutely have gone through that.
Yeah, I've been going through about 6 years. Like last couple of years, I come on a remission, but 4 years it was really tough, and I've gone through severe different kind of medication from steroid to biological treatment. Like similar to like chemotherapy type, and
Yeah.
it didn't work out. Like it was on the last stage of like taking my bowel out, and I had no clue what to do with that. Like, and then when all natural way to dealing with that, like changing my eating habits as well
Yeah.
as the food used to take in, also exercise, managing stress, sleep, this kind of thing, and some natural supplements I was taking, which is like actually helped. And also 80,
Wonderful.
90% I'm better, but sometimes the pressure of like day to day, and sometimes some weeks stressful because I'm running a business. I have a family, I have two young children. Sometimes I don't get sleep, and sometimes it triggers. So I have that kind of moments, but yeah, now I know better like how to manage it compared to a few years back. And the main problem is with that kind of things, you have no clue like how's your week going to be. You can plan everything, but even then I'm feeling way better. Sometimes I'll get extremely tired and you don't feel like you can't even open your eyes and do nothing, to be honest. And it makes you feel guilty. Like in those person, like if you're working all the time, had a like a proper active lifestyle coming from that, like sometimes you cannot do something, it's just tough, and you have to work yourself out of it and motivate yourself again and get to the rhythm again and routine again. Sometimes it's tough, like, and I'm really curious about how you manage uh to like work on yourself as well as running the business. You're launching a new product, and how do you prioritize your health over your business or business over health? Like, what do you do?
Yeah, it was really wonderful to hear your experience, and it absolutely resonates with me as well. I also have days where I feel like I'm running at 10% and my actual like battery, my emotional battery, my physical
Mm,
battery are very low. And I think that sometimes that can be a sign that we do need to slow down a little bit. I think we're very similar in that we maybe are a little bit of that overachiever, and it's important to us to see our vision come to life. And with balancing life, I mentioned I'm a mother as well. My daughter, she's 16 months old now. Um, it gets very busy, and I think what helps is focusing on what your passion is makes things feel less like work. Knowing that the work will always be there, you're going to still have work tomorrow, and it's okay to take time today, focus, to rest, relax, to recharge. And giving yourself grace on those days that you feel like you can't give the 100% you normally do. These are all very normal and very human things. Um, I I wouldn't say that I'm perfect at work-life balance. There's days where I definitely overdo it, but it's something that I continue to work on. And I really want to make sure that I'm present for my family and for my daughter, for my friends and um, everybody else in my life, right?
yeah.
So I try to put them at number one priority, and then the business comes.
Yeah, totally. So tell us about your business. Like, how does can benefit it? Like, is it only for a woman and the app, or like anyone can use it?
Yeah, so my original hypothesis was that women who were experiencing undiagnosed and chronic illnesses were probably navigating the healthcare system more frequently, but potentially being more underserved as a community because we know the data shows that women are actually less likely to be diagnosed with certain conditions, like even having a heart attack. They're 50% less likely
Mm,
to be diagnosed with an actual heart attack, which is, of course, a life or death situation. Um, we know that men are given pain medication much faster than women when presenting with the same symptoms. Um, so my initial target audience is women. However, I think that the app has a lot of potential for audiences beyond women. And I always say women plus. It's women plus. Whoever could get benefit from this tool should absolutely have access and should be using it. We know that gender is a spectrum as well. I want to acknowledge that. So making sure that we're solving for as many people as possible. Of course, going into launching a new business, it's always easier to niche down to one market. And so women is where we're starting, and I think we'll grow from there.
Okay. Yeah, that's great. So, and when do you think like it's going to be available for anyone to get hold of it?
Yeah, so we are actively recruiting people to do some beta testing for us right now. The app is imminently available on the App Store. We're just waiting on that approval from Apple.
Mm.
Our official launch will be at the beginning of September this year, so just a few months away. We would just like to make some refinements with user feedback prior to, but you'll be hearing a lot from me if you follow my social channels on this journey.
Yeah, right. That's great. So I have like a two couple of questions before we finish up here. So one is about life. What you have learned over the years of like running a business, family, and then you come across with the health, which is like a give like a people best lesson ever. So now realizing like life can change anytime in a good way, bad way. And what is the number one lesson you have learned over them years of your experience?
That's a really good question. Life goes by so fast, and it had felt that way before I had my daughter, but now it's run like time is going exponentially faster. And I think we really need to take the time to enjoy the present moment that we're in. We tend to look to the future, and it's great to have goals and to strive for things, but if we spend so much time living our lives in a different place, we're not able to enjoy where we are now. And so I think taking time, taking moments every day to be grateful for what you have and where you're at, know that everything is temporary for good or for bad, right? So through this health journey, not every day is a bad day. And when I'm having a bad day, I know that that's a temporary day. And
Hmm.
hopefully, when I'm having a wonderful day with my daughter, I know that that's going to pass, right? So being grateful for what you have, and knowing that the hard times will pass would be probably the best that I've learned so far.
Yeah, that's great. So my last question to you about an advice to our listeners, those who's listening today, if they want to start their own passion project or they're thinking of an idea but scared to do something about it. So what will be like your advice to them?
Yeah, that's a great question. I would say just start. We get in our head a lot about trying to make something perfect before we get it out there. Just start. Just try to put it out there. Come up with a plan of your idea and really fact check that with the market. If you want to start a business that you're selling to other people, you're not going to be able to sell that very well if people don't, one, know that you exist, and two, understand what you're offering. So make sure you've got a really good pulse on the market, and that you're really clear on your vision, your why, and what you're building. And that's probably the best way, in my opinion, to start. I'm always happy to have a chat with anybody who's looking to get started as well. That's available through LinkedIn, but love to talk to aspiring and current entrepreneurs about that journey.
Yeah, that's great. Thank you so much for sharing your advice as well. So, Rebecca, we are nearly end of this podcast. So, before we wrap up, if anyone wants to learn more about yourself or your business, or they want to grab the app, like where's the best place to find out?
Yeah, so check out our website at www.hersay.ca. That's HERSAY.ca. And for myself, the best way to reach me is on LinkedIn. You can find me at Rebecca Lyons, and you'll see I'm the CEO of HerSay on there.
All right, that's great. Thank you so much for sharing these. So I wish you very best of luck with everything you're doing, and I hope you have a speedy recovery as well with your health, and you have a great success with your app as well. So thank you so much for your time today.
Thank you very much, you know.
That was my pleasure. Thank you. So that's a wrap, guys. Thank you so much for listening to this podcast episode with Rebecca Lyons. I hope you enjoyed the conversation. So if anyone wants to learn more about her, you can visit her website, and also you can find her on social media platforms. I'm going to put all the links on our description for you to get to her easily. Till then, talk to you in the next episode. Take care.